fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
What happens when a company in today's day and age comes out and says we're Christian? What happens when a company today, or co-owners, co-founders, whatever, comes out and publicly says that we love God, that we love Jesus, that we are Christians? Hi there, I'm Joe Simons, one of the co-founders here at Salt Strong, and that is today's discussion. That is the topic of Unchurched. And if you don't know about Unchurched, that was something my brother Luke and I believe that we were called to do from God back in October of 2019. And I'm going to share with you what happened and some of the trials and tribulations and the hate mail and kind of just some scary, fearful times that happened when we came out. And I'm going to share with you the email I sent out back on October 13th. This was a Sunday, and this was the very first Unchurched. And we fought this for a while, just so you know. This is something that we struggled with for months. I knew I was felt called to do this. I knew deep in my heart that this is something that I was born to do and born to share. And I was fearful. I don't know the Bible that well. And in fact, I'm as a Christian, I still have a lot of questions. And I still make a ton of mistakes. And I'm realizing that we're all broken people and all fighting different battles and different demons all the time. I also realize how much better my life has become, and even our business and our community has become when we came out and declared that we are Christians. And so here is the very first quote at the top of the email I sent out. And it says, one of the next great moves of God is going to be through believers in the workplace. I'm going to repeat that. One of the next great moves of God is going to be through believers in the workplace. That was from Billy Graham. In this day and age, I can't think of a time that this is more true and more critical. I mean, if we're relying on our schools and just society and entertainment and all the stuff that we're seeing out there to basically teach our kids about what it is to be a Christian, to teach them about Jesus, we're kind of screwed, pardon the French, right? I mean, we've now taken the 10 Commandments, and I don't know if you guys know the history of schools. You can go look this up on Google. Schools in America were founded, the very first schools in the very first colonies were teaching Christianity. They weren't teaching arithmetic and calculus. They were teaching their kids how to become better Christians. They were teaching them the 10 Commandments. That was stuff that they were writing up on the chalkboard back in the day. And now we've gone the complete opposite from that, and we wonder why our schools and our kids are so messed up, and there's so many suicides and shootings and all this stuff. I mean, to me, it's pretty obvious that the writing is on the wall. And so I truly do believe that this is a time more than ever before that as companies, we need to be bold. And let me just ask you a question. Pop quiz here. What is the first fast food company that comes into your mind? First fast food company. I'm guessing it's probably Chick-fil-A for a lot of you. It might not be 100% of you. Some of you might have said McDonald's, but Chick-fil-A, a company who is very, very vocal with their beliefs. What's kind of a hobbyist store to, I don't know, maybe that one's too easy. A Hobby Lobby that comes into your mind. What's a quarterback? What's one of the most popular quarterbacks at the University of Florida that's ever played in the University of Florida? For a lot of you guys are going to say Tim Tebow, right? These are all people who are Christians, very devout Christians, very vocal about it. What's one of the biggest chicken companies you can think of? Not fast food, just biggest chicken companies you see in your supermarket. Tyson Foods, very, very publicly Christian companies. For your fishermen here that are listening, who are three of the biggest names that we grew up on? Who are some of the biggest names in fishing? Think fishing TV shows. Back in the day, I'm going to tell you who they are. Bill Dance, Roland Martin, Jimmy Houston. Those names ring a bell. Bill Dance, Roland Martin, Jimmy Houston, all very devout and very vocal Christians. In fact, Jimmy Houston has he's a published author and has an amazing devotional book that he wrote. And I share all that with you to say that you're not alone if you're thinking, oh man, I'm going to be the only person that does it. And as I have, put ourselves and myself out there, I have seen so many other big companies and big names and just amazing believers that have also, just kind of burst through the fear and really just pile drived any of the fear, because that's really what it comes down to, right? If you truly believe that you're a Christian, you truly believe that God created you and that you're here for a reason and a purpose, it really comes down to fear. And I was in a C12 meeting a while back, and C12 is a really amazing group. If you are a Christian and you're a leader, a business owner, I would highly recommend you look into it. It's where I go every single month, usually with anywhere from 7 to 12 other CEOs and business leaders who are Christian in the Central Florida. I just share what's working in business and life, etc. And one of the gentlemen there, who's actually a guest, and he had challenged me on our mission statement. And the mission of Salt Strong used to be to unite friends and family and to serve fishermen and honor God. And he says, well, why don't you mention Jesus Christ? And hey, you're right. Now all eyeballs are on me. And the answer was fear, right? Hey, I don't want to offend anyone. And he's like, well, who are you worried about offending? Someone that you've never even met online, or Jesus. Why, if you believe in him, why are you trying to hide it on your own company website? If your mission in your house is that, why wouldn't you declare it publicly? And I thought about it, and I was fearful, honestly. I was like, man, what if we lose some fans and some customers? What if this affects my income? I mean, the real questions that we have, regardless if we're Christian or not, it's scary. No one wants to go backward. No one wants to get in fights. No one wants people to hate them. And I did it though. And so I changed. You can go see it at saltstrong.com on the About tab. And now the mission of Salt Strong is to unite friends and families, to serve fishermen, and to honor God and Jesus Christ in everything that we do. And here's the crazy story. So I did that on a Wednesday night. Thursday morning, I wake up pretty early, and it was like 5-something. And I try to log in, just check new comments and see what's happened in the community. I can't get on our site. Site's like down, meaning normally I have a special back end that we log into, that gives us admin access. I can't even get in that. I'm talking, this thing's on lockdown. So I'm freaking out. I'm texting my brother. It's, 5:45 now. I'm texting Nick, our developer, and no one could get in. We have no idea what happened. And Luke's like, did anything change last night? And all of a sudden, my heart sank. I was like, oh my gosh, I put the word Jesus Christ on our site last night. Do you think we got attacked? And it turns out we don't know exactly what happened, but after a lot of research, there are a lot of these plugins, because we use WordPress as our main site. There are some plugins out there that are very anti-Christian and are actually scanning sites that have anything related to Jesus, Christianity, and will basically put little viruses in your site. And we think that's what happened. It was just unexplainable. It was the first time in 4.5 years that our site, literally just went down. And how ironic, within hours of me adding Jesus Christ to our site. And that was scary, but at the same point, that reaffirmed everything I knew that I needed to do. That reaffirmed I knew what we did was the right move, that someone didn't want that on our site, right? And I don't know who that was, still probably never will to this day, but that was one of those all right, we're doing this moments. And that was prior to us coming out with Unchurched. So I'm going to read to you one of the first emails I got back. Just to let you know, this isn't easy. And if you do go this route, I would encourage you to do so. That you're going to get some hate mail. And so I sent this email about our Unchurched, and like I said, the first quote was, one of the next great moves of God is going to be through believers in the workplace. And one of the first emails I got back is, please unsubscribe me, refund my money. I'm not paying you to push your religion onto me. I'm paying for fishing information. This email is bull, beep. Move on your part, and says a lot about what kind of people you are. Taking your religious zealotry right the F out of my inbox. And obviously he used the curse words. And I had multiple emails like that. And that Sunday was one of the tougher days for me. Even though I probably received 800, and I'm not being sarcastic, probably 800 emails. And there was probably 20 that were really negative. We lost 3 people. So out of all that, and by the way, this email was sent to 70,000 people. And so, a lot of people don't take the time to actually, comment, but I'm guessing 800, maybe 1,000, like actually wrote me a nice response. 20 were just like, hey, I'm going to leave if this kind of crap keeps up and you guys are making a big mistake. Multiple people had said that you guys will be completely gone in the next 6 months. Multiple people said that, which is so crazy. And the one guy who asked for his money back, he's like, yeah, your whole business is destroyed from doing this. And here's what's interesting. So that was October. Every month since October, we have had a record-breaking month. Not just in revenue, because revenue is cool, but in terms of people. Like, we're a people company. What drives my brother Luke and I, we were making a whole lot more money in our past life. We're making less now, but I'm having more fun. I feel more fulfilled. I feel like I'm doing what God has called me to do more than ever before. And so our job, and we call it, we're in the memory creating business. We're out there trying to unite families, to give great tips, right? To teach people how to go out there and catch fish, to go out there and create more memories. And that number has exploded. And just to give you an idea, we measure a lot of that through our Insider Club. Those are people, who are paying us. It's the foundation of our company. And if you're an insider listening, gosh, we can't thank you enough for your support. You fuel this whole thing. So you're massive to us. And so we've been doing Insider Club for 4.5 years. And it took us 4.5 years to get to 8,000 people. So in October, we were at 8,000 members, okay? So remember that number, 8,000 members in October. I'm recording this now, and it's the very beginning of May when I'm recording this. So just in October, not that many months ago, basically 6 months ago, ironically, we were at 8,000 members. Multiple people had told me that we'd be out of business 6 months from now. So here we are. We did lose a few people. Like I say, well, I know we lost 3 for sure that asked for their money back. We might have lost a few more. Here we are in May, and we're about to eclipse 14,000 people. 14,000. Do the math, guys. It took us 4 years to get from 0 to 8,000. And since we did Unchurched, now we're impacting. I was told there was going to be no more math here, but in 6 months, we're basically clipping at 1,000 new members a month. We have been so blessed. It's crazy. We have had so many doors open up. It is unbelievable. And that's been our biggest prayer is, God, obviously protect us. God, show us your favor, flood us with your favor, open up the right doors, lead us down the path. Let us be a shining, a bright shining light in these tough times. And all of that continues to keep happening. Every single time that we're bold, we're blessed. Every single time I do podcasts like this, good things keep happening. And it makes sense. A lot of people in my C12 group said that. I threw out those names earlier, the Bill Dances and the Jimmy Houstons, the Chick-fil-A's, the Tyson Chickens, the Tim Tebow's, the Hobby Lobby. All of these companies are thriving, right? If you know Chick-fil-A's story, talk about being an underdog, right? Going into the fast food market where groups like McDonald's and Burger King and KFC, they owned it. It was impossible to break through in a market like that. And then they have the audacity to close on Sunday, right? Which is like 20% of many of these fast food companies' business. That is one of the busiest days, if not the busiest day for most of these companies. And yet they're still licking every one of them. And my point is this. If you do come out and basically say that you are Christian, you will be surprised at how much hate you will get, because that was the tough part. I was hoping it wouldn't be bad, and it was bad, and it hurt, and it was tough, but you'll be even more surprised at how much love and favor and amazing things that happen in your life. You'll be amazed at how much protection that you have, and you'll be amazed at how you were started to get lifted up more than ever before. This whole tackle thing right now, now we have 20% off. 10,000 items. Just 2 months ago, we had it on 30 items. That was a complete godsend. And this gentleman, Mark, it's so crazy. I had lunch with him, and we're sitting there talking, and I knew who he was, but I didn't really put it all together. And he's like, hey, where do you live? And I told him, and we live 2 miles from each other, and we're having lunch in Tampa. He works at a Tampa company. I assumed he lived in Tampa. And apparently Luke knew that, but where he lived. But I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, what church do you go to? We go to the same church. And I was like, this is just crazy. And all of a sudden, we hired him, and now he's brought an entire new part of our business to Salt Strong, and it has opened so many more doors. And most importantly, like I said, it's opened up doors for us to make an impact. We treat our insider members like family. We try to treat all of our audience like family, but the insider members, because, they are paying customers. It's the whole equitable, not equal. We treat them like family members, and it does pain us, and it's hurtful when we do lose some because of things like this. But just looking at the overall big picture on how few people we lost and how more people we gained and the impact that we've made. I did mention, that I had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails, and I continue to get them every week when I do these. And, 95% of the feedback is incredibly positive. And we've had people who have now started to go to church and have found Jesus again, and have just found more happiness and have been more loving because of this. And those are the things that you can't put a price tag on that. So I share all that with you to let you know that if you're struggling with this, know that you're not alone. If you have a lot of fear about saying that you're a Christian or Christian company, you ain't alone. I sure did. I still do. Every time I do one of these, I get a little bit nervous. But one thing that the C12 has told me, my friend Pastor John, who's been on here before, has said it multiple times, is you got to replace fear with faith. I'll repeat it because it's important. You got to replace fear with faith. And every time I've done that, and every story in the Bible is like that. If you really dive into it and take a 30,000-foot view, there's usually some type of fear that the person or the student or the character is facing. That's from the Bible to movies to books, etc. And they have to replace fear with faith. And I will tell you from experience, every time that I've done that, the magic has started to happen. Big things happen, big doors open up. And then most importantly, I get to make an impact. And I believe that's what we're all called to do, regardless if you're teaching 20 kids in a real school, or you're teaching a Sunday school class of 10 kids, or you've got one kid at home is a single mom or dad. I believe our job, our reason we're put here on this earth is to make an impact. And I know, at least from my experience so far, coming out, if you will, and saying that we're a Christian-based company and putting the word God and the name Jesus Christ on our site, only good things have happened. Yes, there's been a couple daggers thrown at us. Yes, we've had some mud slung our way. And yes, we even have people that still try to use it against us. Oh, I can't believe you guys call yourself Christians. Even this guy, right? This email is a BS move on your part and says a lot about what kind of people you are. Like, what that we're coming out and trying to say we're encouraging people to be more loving. I don't know. I was confused by that, and I can't read some of the other emails because they have so many curse words in them. But all that being said, I encourage you to be bold, to be faithful, and just listen. This didn't happen to us overnight. I'm now 41 years old, and had you told me even just 3 or 4 years ago we'd be doing this, I would have said you're crazy, and I never would even have thought about it. So you'll know when the timing's right. Maybe it's today. Maybe it's next week. Maybe it's next year. Maybe God's just preparing you like he was me with the anxiety attacks and all the things that kept bringing me in closer. But I encourage you just to be brave, be bold. I know that society needs us more than ever before. Now that we've basically kicked our own God out of our schools and pretty much every single place in society except for church. I do believe that Billy Graham was right, that one of the next great moves of God is going to be through believers in the workplace. And you'll be amazed when you do declare what kind of company you are and what kind of people you are, not just in your own household and your church, but out publicly, what kind of people it attracts to you. The kind of employees that we have, oh my gosh. They are every one of them is a godsend. Every one of them I can't even explain like how perfect they are for each of the roles that they're in. We have been so blessed, and every one of them have said that was a big thing that drew them in to us. And even many of our members, are just so helpful. And we have people who are praying for each other. And we got a couple, guys in our Insider Club who are going through cancer right now. And, in our community, there's people who openly pray for them. And that to me, that's just absolutely amazing that we've been able to track people like that. And so if that's you and you're an Insider member, thank you so much. If you're not, come join us. I think you will be blown away. It just the family atmosphere, the positivity. There's no cursing. There's no belittling, no negativity. There's enough of that in this world. There's no news. There's no politics. It's just fishing and fun and family, which is really what we're all about and what drives us. So, guys, thank you so much for listening to this. This was kind of one of those that I woke up and just I had no intentions of doing this yesterday, and I woke up and felt like I was called to say this. So for someone listening to this, you needed to hear it, and I'd love to hear from you if it impacted you at all, or if it was an aha moment for you that you need to be a little bit more bolder in your faith within the workplace, especially. Let me know. My email, if you made it this far, Joe, Joe, at saltstrong.com. I read every single email. I try to personally reply to every single one. Sometimes they sit in my inbox a little bit longer because it takes me a while, but I would love to hear from you, Joe at saltstrong.com. Love you guys. Appreciate all the support. I will talk to you on the next episode.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul. It was passed down to me from the days of old. To find us on the water if there was a way. It's been said my papa, he wrote the book on catching big reds and 20-pound snook. I wish I knew all the things he knew today. For he's the reason why we are this way. And he put fish in our soul.